Sports with your host, John Suchan. This is the Johnny Cleveland Podcast, all things Cleveland sports, with your host, John Suchan. Good afternoon, and welcome to a Sunday edition of, that's right, the Johnny Cleveland Podcast. Good afternoon. Woohoo, it's Sunday, and if you check back behind me, you'll see that we got the old Browns game from week 1. If you're watching this on YouTube, playing those Carolina Panthers, what an exciting finish. The Browns actually ended up winning that game. They almost blew it last season, but had Cade York hit a game winner, 58-yarder with a few seconds left in the clock. Got the Browns off to a fast start that year, and we thought we were in for a great season, but everything fell through after week 2 when the Browns blew that big lead against the New York Jets in the home opener, and the rest is history. Glad to have you along here. We are the Johnny Cleveland Podcast. We are part of the new Fanatical Elves Network on Fans First Sports Network, and this is our Sunday Kickoff show edition. Glad to have you here, and just wanted to use this time on Sunday afternoon to kind of share out a little bit about, review a little bit of stuff that's going on with Cleveland, the Brownies and free agency and the draft ahead. And we have a busy week on our network. We have several shows coming up and wanted to talk about those. We'll get to that in momentarily. Overall this week, we haven't had a lot of activity with free agency for the Browns. We had some great guests on the other night. Joel and Steve, who are contributors also to the Fanatical Elves Network, were on. We discussed some of that. Also, following that, we had Rod, his show, the Browns Blitz, that came on Friday morning. Joel moved over there and talked to Rod and his brother, Jeff. Some great conversation there. Just like being able to visit with the variety of guys on our team. We have so many good contributors that know all about the Browns in different ways, which I just think is really cool. And folks like Joel and Steve, they're going to be starting up probably some of their own shows here shortly on the network. So excited about what they can contribute. And so please tune in if you are a fan of the Browns. This is our new network. Again, we're being sponsored through the Fans First Sports Network. There are affiliates all over the country. We are building a brand that is growing every day, and we're so excited to have you on board. If you haven't followed us on our show yet, move over to Twitter, and you can find us under the Elves Network, ELFZ Network, and make sure to follow that. We're giving away great prizes this week. We've given away a Browns pullover. We recently and now we've got this one awesome looking Brownie the Elf hat, Cleveland Browns hat, white hat with the elf as a logo on it. That we'll be giving that away at our show coming up here. We're going to talk about that. It's our Fanatical Elves show that we're going to be debuting on Wednesday. I'll be joined again by Joel and then Elliot, and looking forward to having both of them on. Those guys both write for Dog Pound Daily as well, part of the fan-sided periodicals. So I'm also a contributor to Dog Pound Daily. We had Steve on, also with Joel last week, and he's part of the Cleveland Sports Talk group. I'm also write for Cleveland Sports Talk, so I appreciate their support in this venture. We are, like I said, gaining supporters every day. Our following on Twitter is growing, and so please check us out, retweet us. Tell friends. We are going to be bringing you weekly shows, upwards of 4 or 5 shows a week, talking all Browns all day long, and just excited to be on this adventure with you. I hope you are looking forward to it, and you get to hear a variety of opinions about the Browns. The Browns have a lot moving forward this week. They've had some good picks in free agency and trades. They got Elijah Moore recently from the New York Jets. They also picked up a couple other free agents this week. I wrote an article on Dog Pound Daily that just came out discussing a few free agents that could potentially still be out there. Jerick McKinnon is a kid running back who has now won some Super Bowls with the Kansas City Chiefs. He has been one of those kind of dual threat running backs, multi-versatile. Not only is he a running back, but he's been an excellent pass catcher. Last year he caught 56 passes out of the backfield for the Chiefs. And since the Browns are looking to probably part ways, obviously Kareem Hunt is a free agent. Jerick McKinnon could be a really good, solid replacement. So he's still out there. He'd be a relatively good bargain. That was part of my article where some of these guys who are bargains, they wouldn't be breaking the bank. So I like him. There's also on the defensive side of things, the Browns made that big splash getting Juan Thornhill from the Chiefs, again, a 2-time Super Bowl champion, and he's going to really help that secondary for the Brownies. But getting a player potentially out there like Eric Rowe, who's a veteran kid who's played for the Dolphins. He's altered between safety and cornerback. So he's, again, another versatile secondary player. The Browns already have, Thornhill, and they've got Grant Delpit back there. They've got Bell back there that they just re-signed. And they've got their cornerbacks, but they're going to still need some depth at safety. They're not going to get back Ronnie Harrison. Surprisingly, I didn't realize that Harrison, he's only 25, man. It seems like Harrison's been around the league for a longer time than that, but he's only 25 years old. So now this kid out of Miami, Eric Rowe, he's been in the league, I think 8 or 9 years right now. He's 29 going on 30. So he's a little bit more experienced, but he was in the playoff game he played with the Dolphins this past season when they played the Buffalo Bills. Had an outstanding game there. I don't know if you go back and watch the highlights. He had 7 tackles and a forced fumble. He had a sack on the quarterback. So this guy's active and he could still really help the Browns. The Browns need some depth on all ends of the field. And so I'd like to see the Browns pursuing one of these guys. Obviously, we still need some support in the defensive tackle. There's some guys out there that are still available. Some of them might be a little bit costly, and maybe that's why the Browns are waiting. There's no rush at this point, and as we get closer to the draft, speaking of the draft, we are really gearing up for that. We're going to have some great opportunities to hear us on our podcast variety shows. Between Rod's show of the Browns Blitz that he brings every week, my show, the Johnny Cleveland Podcast, and then our new show, the Fanatical Elves Show. We're excited to at least have those shows, and we'll probably have some additional programming as we get into the actual draft picks. So once those draft picks starts coming out, Browns right now aren't scheduled to be drafting probably until day 2 at pick 74, maybe 99. So if they do those drafts and they take those picks, then we will be on the air to provide our insight and what we think of those picks. And we want to hear from you too. That's part of this whole network, and getting more, bringing you guys into our network and having you participate and really be part of all of that. And so we're looking forward to, we're just fans. We're just talking about the Browns just like you guys are. And we just like to do that. And if you're listening, we know that, and we really need your support to really grow this product. So again, the week ahead, we've got my show, like we're doing. We're going to have another podcast with a Johnny Cleveland show here on Tuesday, where we welcome in Brad BP from Pepper Pike. If you've seen my show before, we've had Brad, excellent. He breaks down things analytically, especially with he follows the NBA quite a bit, but he also is a hearty Browns fan. So while he's covering the Cavs, he also has a lot of insight with the Browns. So we're going to have Brad back on here on Tuesday night. We're going to be breaking down some of the free agency moves. He's going to be giving you some of his grades on those selections. Following that, Tuesday, we're going to be premiering our new Fanatical Elves show, which I've mentioned a couple times. The exciting part here is that we're We've got some new segments that we're going to be introducing, some Browns trivia, even throwing some Steeler stuff, anti-Steeler stuff that you might all enjoy. So tune back in for that. We're also going to be giving away the Fanatical Elves, or the brownie hat that I've got going out there to have you guys retweet and follow the show. So we'll be picking one of those followers or retweeters on Wednesday and announcing the winner on our podcast on the new Fanatical Elves show. Following that, on Thursday, we'll be back for another Johnny Cleveland podcast, which will be, of course, your host, me, John Stu Chan, and Steve Gill from over at Cleveland Sports Talk is going to be coming back and talking more draft, more free agencies, and getting his insight. He just has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to that, and so looking forward to having his expertise back. Following that, Friday, we're going to be again having Rod and his brother Jeff. They're going to be bringing you the Browns Blitz once again, and with a lot of great detailed information, and they have some great guests. Last week they had Joel on there, and not sure who they're going to have on this week, but we'll get that show out to you on Friday on the Fanatical Elves Network. So look forward to hearing that, and I hope you are too. So that's the week ahead. We are getting closing in on the draft, which is just days away now. The draft starts in Kansas City out on, I believe, April 27th. So we're only talking a few weeks away. And of course, the Browns don't have a draft pick there at the beginning, but by the second or third round, they should be active. So we're looking forward to that and providing you some great Browns programming. Hey, everybody, I hope you enjoyed listening for a few minutes today on your Sunday. You can get back, if you're watching again, the Browns were playing Carolina back there, if you're watching on YouTube. And they did pull that win off, but we'll be bringing highlights of that as we provide the TV back. So if you listen into our shows, you might catch a few of the replays. All right, folks, I hope you have a great Sunday afternoon. Go Browns, and remember, too, that's right, keep smiling.